Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to talk about the golden apple because have you ever wondered why this even exists in the game? Like you can coat an apple in gold and then somehow eating it gives you magical effects. It's a really odd part of Minecraft, and I wanted to talk about exactly how it came to be because it was the result of a joke in Minecraft that then led to one of the most influential food items, perhaps not just in Minecraft but in any game ever, that gives you effects that have never been seen before. They had to develop so much of the game around the golden apple, and I wanted to talk about why that is and how it happened in today in Minecraft history. So first of all, please do wish the golden apple a happy 8th birthday because it's 8 years old today, and second of all, please do like it if you do like it because it helps out the channel and lets know you do like today in Minecraft history. But let's get straight into talking about exactly what is going on with the golden apple because, like I said, it's a very bizarre item, right? Like that's right, you can hold a golden apple that is, it's not just, it's not that it's just not bad for you because eating gold in real life, pro tip, don't do it. But also it actually gives you magical effects not seen elsewhere in the game, looking something like this. As you can see, regeneration and extra health, which you never really see outside of this apple. So why exactly does this exist? And it actually is, the answer to that question is just because of a joke. So way back when in the early days of Minecraft, again, back in 2010, Minecraft wasn't even a year old, and even for the longest time in Minecraft Java, knowing crafting recipes, it's not like on this version where you look it up and you're like, oh, here's how you craft various different things. No, if you wanted to know how to craft something, you had to look it up online, you had to, intuitively come across it, or you had to find a guide. So a player named JTE put together a huge crafting recipe guide for most of the recipes in the game, and at the end of all those recipes, which again helped out quite a few players on the Minecraft forums, he decided to put in a little joke recipe for the golden apple. And his little joke recipe used gold ingots at the time, so again, these things right here, around a gold, it's like a little fun thing. And then 4 days later, that's right, Notch somehow read this guide, and then 4 days later, decided to implement a golden apple into the game. Except we're talking 2010 Minecraft here, so even though you could craft it, first of all, it used gold blocks, so it was the most costly thing to create. Again, imagine this recipe, but like that. That's how you get the regular golden apple all the way back then. So that was how the recipe worked, and it was basically just the magical item in the game. If you were willing to use 8 gold blocks on something, which again, very, very tricky thing to do, you would be rewarded with a full health bar, because again, there was no hunger, there was nothing like that. It would just fully regenerate your health, which made it the best food item in the game. However, again, no one would ever practically use it, because at the time, every food was eaten instantly. There was no eating animation like this. Instead, you just instantly ate the food, so you could just eat 4 pork chops and be at the same level, but still, people, would sometimes use it as like a joke little feature, and that's how golden apples existed for the longest time. They were later added in, dungeons, so you could find them when you found a mob spawner, but it was mostly just an item which existed in the game as a fun little joke, like a novelty. If you wanted to waste gold blocks on food, then you could do so and get the best food in the game. However, things kind of changed when hunger came into the game, because instead of becoming a, a massive regeneration item, they turned from being a, massive, regenerating for the hunger item. So that meant that you could eat them and it would regenerate 4 hunger points, but also give you regeneration. That meant it was the only food in the game, in the world where hunger was the only way to regenerate health, the golden apple was the only food which would directly regenerate health with the regeneration effect, which lasted a full 30 seconds. And again, that's kind of nuts when you think about it, that you'd immediately start regenerating health no matter where you were on the health scale, and that meant that golden apples had a little bit of use, again, kind of limited use, until the real big thing that kind of changed it, because they also were added to other stronghold chests and stuff like that, but the real big change came in 1.1, where they decided, golden apples, they exist as a role in the game, but no one can really get them without modding or using creative, so instead, let's make the recipe easier. And they didn't just make the recipe slightly easier, they made it a whole bunch easier. So the recipe as of 1.1, all the way up to 1.6, by the way, was actually the recipe using the golden nuggets, which look like this. You might have seen before. You might have even crafted a golden apple that way. That's still how you craft the golden carrot. Imagine this recipe right here. Wait, can we get that to like last? No, we can't. But imagine this recipe right here, but instead of being a golden carrot, that's a golden apple. That's how you made golden apples for quite some time. And at this stage in the game, having only 1 ingot required to make, it's actually less than 1 ingot to make a golden apple, meant they're actually kind of useful. Whenever you fought the end dragon, you'd always be like, yeah, sure, I'll craft like 5 golden apples. And for a little bit of the game, they were actually way too easy to get. Regular golden apples were a way too easy thing to get, and they decided to kind of balance this. They'd also make the enchanted golden apple, and the enchanted golden apple was the original kind of golden apple with that super regeneration, way more of it. It lasted for the full 30 seconds again, that's actually something they added back into the game, the enchanted golden apple, which you might just recognize as, let's grab one. You might just recognize this item as being one of the most powerful items in the game, that's so powerful that they have to remove it again from the crafting recipes, because it's just too darn good. So enchanted apple, no longer craftable, because it's just too OP. It's it's just a bit too much. So that's now been removed from the bedrock, it's been removed from the Java, and soon, of course, it will be removed from the the console edition too. So yeah, there we go. That's where the golden apple is now. We've got an item which is way too easy to craft and then way too hard to craft, but also way too OP, eventually has to be removed. But let's talk about the rest of the Golden Apple history, because my favorite thing is how this ends, because they slowly add more and more functionalities to the Golden Apple. They make it the way to regenerate villagers. Again, we're talking an item that was already like renowned as the best food in Minecraft. Now it's got use in regenerating villagers. Now it can be found in, as of, again, 1.5, it can be found in actually desert temples and stuff as well. So if we come over to here, you can see if we mine into a desert temple, well, I mean, assuming the teleporting doesn't glitch me in the sky, let's eat a golden apple and let's make this better, actually. Because they also decided to, in these updates, nerf the actual, the amount of hunger it gives you. So instead of giving you 4 hunger points, it gives you 2. So it's not the best hunger item, but it's the best one to, you know, get food back with quickly. But yeah, basically they made it so you could find them inside desert temples. If you go into a desert temple, like we're doing right now, you have a chance, like some small chance, of getting in here and finding yourself a golden apple. So here we go. We've got 2 of them. We've got, oh my god, I got one with an enchanted golden apple. That is so rare. But then we've got a third one over here. Golden apples are now an item which are mostly meant to be kind of an item you find in the wild. Like, again, to kind of balance out how crazy they are, they've made it so you have to explore to get them, and the the odds of you finding and exploring them is kind of rare. So yeah, there's a brief explanation of how the golden apple went from being a joke item to more serious to kind of like that. And the funny thing, in my opinion, the ultimate kind of like, I think, perfect like loop to the end of this story is the fact that the golden apple, although like originally was, the joke version of the golden apple had gold ingots as the crafting recipe, that actually later came back as the full recipe in 1.6. That's right, in 1.6, just before they decided, 2 updates before they decided to remove the enchanted golden apple entirely, they decided, let's just go in and do this, and let's make sure that the regular golden apple isn't too OP too. So they decided to make it out of gold bars, which means that the original joke, the 2010 joke, all those years later, became the real recipe for the golden apple. The one you probably know to this day, the one you probably recognize as you needing. So again, 8 gold bars and a apple like this. This is the recipe that started as a joke and is now a real thing. The functionality very similar to how it is like back then, and it's kind of funny that like something like this, despite getting all those uses in the meantime, despite becoming a real item you can find in the wild, kind of turned into that. So let's talk about the future of this item now, because there's the history. It started as a joke, became real, became even more real, got too good, had to be nerfed, and then turned back into the joke because the joke was, the joke was a better, game balancer than the real item. But the interesting thing to me is the fact that, in the future, so first of all, again, as I mentioned, Enchanted Golden Apple had to be removed from crafting because it's just too powerful. It makes gold farms too OP, and it gives gold too much of a prevalence in the game, in a game that it's not really meant to be. Because if you've never seen Enchanted Golden Apple, I feel like I have to show you this. Like, here are all the effects you get. You get resistance, 20% damage resistance, entire resistance to fire, you get 8 extra hearts, and you get 30 seconds of regeneration. It's honestly, if you eat one, it's OP, and if you get one in survival or any PvP, you just win. There's no other, kind of situation about that. So anyway, with that said, now we know about the Enchanted Golden Apple, why that's too OP. Let's talk about the regular Golden Apple and the plans for them, because both of these items are being changed as of 1.13. The names are being officially split up because you saw that was called the Enchanted Apple, right? That's not true. That's only true on the Bedrock version. On the other versions, they're both called Golden Apple, just a different text. That's being changed. There's going to be the Golden Apple and the Enchanted Apple, because again, it's like it's an entirely different thing. It gives you magical powers. Like yeah, I get it. It's different. And yeah, they're also going to be making some other balancing changes in the future, because like I said, the Golden Apple went from being a joke to the most iconic, item in Minecraft, and I think that's something that we should celebrate, and that's why today in Minecraft history, this is a celebration of the Golden Apple's long history. So I look forward to seeing what they do with this in the future. It seems to be the most touched on item, with very few exceptions, so only the 1.10, 1.12, and 1.7 updates, all the way back to the full release, so every other update since full release included a change, only those 3 ones were missing, and yeah, you can expect therefore in the future, we'll see more and more changes to these items, because they're just that iconic, they're that well used, and they cause that much balancing issues for a game. Again, something that was meant to be kind of just like a fun little, oh yeah, I'm gonna include this feature this guy included as a joke, turned into a real balancing factor for the game, and I think that's kind of beautiful, and I think that's one of the things that makes Minecraft great, the fact that so many of these suggestions started as jokes, like the creeper, it's just an accidental pig, turned into a real thing. Golden apple, started as a joke, turned into one of the most valuable and useful, and you need to know how to use the golden apple if you're gonna do well, and yeah, it's kind of interesting to me, maybe it is to you too, but either way, I hope you all enjoyed today's Minecraft history. Let me know if you want to see more, but for now, I'll see you all next time. Have a nice day, everyone. Like if you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're around here, make sure you turn notifications to see these videos daily on your homepage, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.